Thanks for joining us on the first edition of Journalist Hangout this week. I'm Kemi Folade. Today on the program, we have a full plate indeed. President Buhari declares intention to seek re-election in 2019. Plus, police make arrests in bloody of bank robbery. And later on the program today, troops kill insurgents, rescue 149 hostages. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju as well as Lekon Shote and Charles Ideho. Journalists Hangout starts now. So the wait is over, and is the rumor of whether President Muhammadu Buhari will seek re-election in 2019. It's now official that Mr. President will run again. He made the public declaration this morning at the National Executive Committee of the All Progressives Congress, and this declaration is against the hardline position of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who famously advised Mr. President not to seek re-election. So let's begin. Babajide, are you excited with this news?
I can't say that I'm excited because it's not a surprise to me. It's something that I expected. I expected the president to recontest. So something that I had looked forward to for so long. I can't be excited about it. I would have been shocked if he didn't seek re-election. That's what would have bothered me. I expected him to contest. The decision was his, as long as he's sure that his health is good enough to last the distance. I knew he would take that decision. So I was expecting it. So I'm not, I'm neither excited nor overjoyed in any way.
Is indifferent the word then?
I won't say indifferent. As a Nigerian, with so much interest in political matters in our country, I can't be indifferent. What I'm saying that it's not something that I will stand on the rooftops and be jubilating about. It's something that I expected to happen, so I'm just taking it as it has come.
All right, let me sample the opinions of the other gentlemen. By the way, thanks a lot everyone for joining us again for discussions today. Charles, how did you receive this news? Long time coming, or were you not surprised?
I wouldn't be surprised because some of us political watchers have always known that he would declare his intention to rerun. There were indices, factors, there was 30 signs face up on the table for you to see. First, you remember that on March 1 this year, the party had unanimously given him a vote of confidence to say that indeed he has performed incredibly well. And then if you've seen things like that, it means that even though they quickly said that it does not amount to endorsement, but if I can see, if they said they have given him that, they have voted him confidently that he has done well, it means that they were not prepared to bring somebody else to replace him. So what some of us are expecting is what just happened. It's just an official reenactment of what we're already aware of. I would have been shocked if he didn't declare, as my colleague has said, if, for instance, by the end of tomorrow or next week, then we hear that another candidate is being brought out by the APC, I would have been shocked because it would have beaten some of us who are political watchers because nothing like that has been on the cards. So he, coming out today to officially declare to rerun, is just something that had been there. It wasn't hidden. Everybody knew that he was going to come out.
But then, Lekon, looking at all that has transpired up until this moment now, does it also shut the gate against aspirants from within the party now that the president has declared?
Theoretically, no. Theoretically, no. But if you went through the speech that the first speech that he gave, it was a campaign. And he did say that even though the tenure of the party officers were going to expire, and the constitution does not quite allow them to, it's too close for them. They will have resigned some days, about 30 days before the election. And therefore, he was suggesting that there should be a waiver for them. It's an olive branch indeed. So it was just like creating, making things easy for himself, you know. And then to join my colleagues, I'm not going to say I'm surprised, you know, even though if you ask me, you haven't asked me what my opinion about the fact that he declared. I wish there was another candidate, that the party had somebody else. I'm hoping that the party will come up with somebody else. Though I can't see anybody in the horizon.
But, right, because the question I asked you was actually to also elicit your own response now on the question on ground at the moment. And okay, fine, thankfully you have given your answer. Nobody seems to be surprised on this panel, Babajide. But then let me also get your reaction now on the issue about, you know, aspirants, you know, coming up. Based on what Lekon has already said, that he wished there were another candidate that the APC would present as its front runner.
The APC cannot present a candidate as its front runner. It is at the convention ground that we will likely see another candidate who could probably give the president a run for his money. As the president and leader of the party, it would be naive of me to expect the party to be pushing for another candidate. In fact, it's a reality in politics that you have a president is in power, he has incumbency powers, and then you are talking about another candidate. It rarely happens. It rarely happens. In an election year, it rarely happens. So the truth is, with the support of the governors and the power brokers in the party, the president will easily win a primary election. And this president has not become suddenly unpopular within the framework of his party for you to think that they are going to come up with another candidate. All the people who matter in the party, who make things happen in the party, are behind him. So the people who are against him, if they want to get a ticket, their cause will be served in a different party, not in APC. There's no way anybody will stand against Buhari in this APC and get the ticket. Their best bet is to go and pursue their ambition elsewhere. Because the way, even when the old man was not, at the time the old man was not ready to say, I want to contest. Not too long after I returned from the UK, some people in the party were already saying that they had endorsed him for a second term. You know, and some of these people, in fact, most of the people endorsing him are governors who are going to bring delegates to the convention of the party where the standard bearer of the party will emerge. So if the governors are overwhelmingly say, look, contest, try to get a second term. So who do you think can stop him from getting a ticket of the party? They are the ones in control of the delegates. That's the way it happens.
Let's even leave that, you know, on the side now, and then, you know, delve deeper into this issue, because Charles, perhaps I also want you to respond to an issue raised earlier by Jide, where he said, fine, it's a constitutional right which the president has finally pursued now to recontest, but then is he fit? And then if you look at the trail of reactions following this declaration now, it's between is he fit now, which is weightier, whether the president is indeed fit now to, you know, take on the enormous activities that his declaration warrants, as against his chances now, how different it is from 2015 to this point.
Your question, you're thinking like a journalist, not like a politician. You see, when you take a look at a party already having a candidate that has given them victory it will be what the Japanese would call political harakiri if they decide to change him. Just look at the political equation of Nigeria. Right now, every party will want to field a candidate from the north, right? That's just put it on one. Because of what? Because of electoral victory, electoral fortune. So if the PDP is going up north, possibly SDP is going up north, they want a candidate that is heavily accepted up north over there to be able to undo whatever any other party want to do. To come to spring any surprises, because if you
that is also arguable, because the third party will say they don't have to be bound by the issue.
Look, all the conjectures I'm making are based on antecedents, because Buhari, even a half Buhari is very popular in the north, even as we speak. So it will be fitting for the party to continue to push him forward because of the desired electoral victory, because they know that with Buhari on the saddle, they are as good as a comfortable up north over there, where usually they have a large chunk of the votes. So that's why I'm saying that the APC will be committing suicide, politically speaking, if they decide to change him. Which is why I said I wasn't surprised if he coming over. I would have been surprised, as I said earlier, if they had changed the game. But again, because if you look at whether it's Lamido, Sule Lamido of, we are saying might come up with PDP also, these people, when you put all of them together, they are not as popular as Buhari, the way I have looked at it based on the artisans I spoke about later. So that's why I'm even saying that it wasn't unlikely for the APC to come up with any candidate,
so
but they were rather going to stick with and would even half-fit Buhari than any stallion.
So it was all a matter of, common sense within political calculations. But then,
it's politics.
But then, I'm sure Lekon is not unmindful of the president's popularity base, especially in the north. Yet you still have questions as to why Buhari as an APC candidate. Are you already looking at the president's chances dwindling?
Well, I think I did say that I didn't see a contender in the horizon, But my issue is this: his health. Concerned about that, especially with the experience that we had with the late Umaru Yar'Adua. Before he contested, there was issues. Eventually, unfortunately, he died. That's not good for our polity. And then secondly, this government came on 3 issues: anti-corruption, economy, and security. As far as I'm concerned, I am not 100% comfortable. Of course, you're not going to get 100%, but I am not even palpably, comfortable with the result of over these 3 issues. Do you understand? And my issue is this: do Nigerians deserve something better if we can find one? My submission is that political parties in Nigeria are merely interested in their political fortunes, electoral fortunes, rather than the interest of the people of Nigeria. That's my worry. That's my worry.
The president,
who is feeding him? It's not the people. It's the party that's feeding him, and the party will look towards who's going to give them victory.
Still on the president's fitness, right?
My worry is this: the Constitution has given him an advantage. You cannot have independent candidates.
That's right.
Under this Constitution. That is an unfair provision, as far as I'm concerned.
But we have it. That's it.
That's what we have.
There are enough political parties to find a candidate to contest against this man. And I think that for some of us, our hunger to find a candidate to contest against this man is I dare say, premature. Because the primaries of the parties by INEC guidelines has not come. When that time comes, every single political party that is worth its name will find a candidate for this man, to contest against this man. And the decision as to whether Buhari should continue as the president of Nigeria lies in the hands of the Nigerian people. And if his party says, oh, this is the candidate that they want to put forward, we can't sit here and begrudge them. We can't begrudge them. Even if we go to join APC today and we become card-carrying members because we want to have a say in the emergence of Buhari or otherwise, they will still outnumber us and succeed in presenting Buhari as the candidate of the party. So that is the thing. If Nigerians have reached the point that they think that this president has been so abysmal in his performance and everything put together, they are tired of him, they will take that decision. That time will come for Nigerians to express their desire to either keep Buhari in office or to send him back to Daura. So that is for the Nigerian people to decide. And the Nigerian people that I know, just like it happened in 2015, many people will decide to be on this side. Many more will decide to be on this side. I don't think that so much has changed dramatically in terms of the complexion of our politics that if Buhari emerges as the candidate of the APC, it will have a stroll in the park. No, it's not going to happen. The contest for the presidency in 2019 will still be a stiff contest. Mark my words.
I have a challenge.
It will still be a stiff contest. People are saying, oh, they've not seen a candidate. Has the time to even choose candidates, has it come? How long does it take for people to come together? How long did it take before they brought Obasanjo out of prison and he became a candidate? Why are we so, when it comes to history, we are so forgetful? It doesn't take eternity to come up with a candidate. Within weeks. Let me tell you, in the next 3 months now, you will see the candidates that will contest against Buhari. You will see.
But the challenge I have with that, the challenge I have with I agree with you, but the challenge I have with that is that even before, around 2013, 2014, we already saw the candidates of Buhari. We already saw Atiku on the scene. We already saw the current governor of Imo State on the scene. We already saw them. It was a matter of time for them to go to that their permanent for Buhari to emerge. You already saw people on ground.
From within the party, anyway.
Exactly. That's my challenge.
Hold on, let me explain to you. 2013 that you are talking about, a lot of those people wanted to contest were in the PDP. The situation was fluid. The president then was not going to create a level playing ground. People like Sule Lamido, people like Kwankwaso, they were all interested in the presidency at that time. At the end of the day, they left that party to join the APC. The APC had its presidential primaries in December 2014, a few months to the election. And we saw people like Kwankwaso, people like Atiku that you are talking about, contesting on the other side.
What I'm saying that they were already in the picture.
Who told you that Kwankwaso is not in the picture now?
No, what I'm saying,
who told you that Atiku is not in the picture now?
Who would you point to now in the other party to say you really can bet your money on?
Okay, no, bet your money on who will win. Atiku is going to contest.
Who can really put the chest and say, okay, I'm going to match you.
It is people, let me tell you, they can match him. It is people, when you have support, even if you are in a non-entity, you have people behind you, you are going to do well.
But how do you get people around you if you are not if you have not presented yourself?
No, it's not. I've given you the example that was in 2014 December.
Let's hold on.
That those guys came out to contest. What is the argument about?
Even though INEC has already brought out a calendar which all these parties are following, but then we cannot be unmindful of the fact that, of course, there's some serious politicking going on now. The third force has also not been idle.
People have been
There's
meeting.
been a lot, indeed, a lot of activities
when they are
at this
meeting,
time.
they will not show us video of their meeting in our newsrooms. People are meeting, nocturnal meetings are taking place.
Absolutely.
I know at least 3 persons who are interested in this presidency, and they will contest. They will contest. Already, Atiku went to Wike to announce that he will contest the presidency. So what are we talking about? That people are not interested? Are we going to say that Atiku is a small fry in politics? Even though he's been contesting perennially and not winning, who knows whether this is his chance? We are not God. People will contest. Kwankwaso is interested in this thing, and he will contest.
And these are all northerners. And
When the time
based on their
when the time comes, he sees clearly that in the APC there's no chance for him. He will contest. Sule Lamido was here in Lagos 2 weeks ago, you know, and he's been holding rallies, large crowds, and we are saying that people are not coming out. How can we say people are not coming out?
But then, Leko, how will you weigh this? How formidable are these opponents so far? We've seen northerners now. That is already a fact now, coming out to declare intention to run. Yeah. That's a given. But then, how formidable are these people against the popularity of the president nationwide?
Let's start within the party, because as I observed and noted earlier on, the parties will determine their candidate, because the Constitution says only parties can present candidates. Charles said earlier on that governors, even as recently as yesterday or 2 days ago, Shitu, the Minister for Communication, was still canvassing and saying the president was wrong. There was a time somebody even said, "I will sue you if you don't. I will sue you if you don't wrong." So that's enough to tell you that according to to quote Charles, the party structure, or let me not say the party structure, those with big mouth within the party grandees are speaking, even if it is by body language, that this is our preferred candidate. It would then mean that if these people constitute a large body, critical mass within the party, the president will get the nod. Now, I did say earlier on that I don't see, including Atiku, including Kwankwaso, including Lamido or whoever, I don't see anybody in the horizon right now. I did have a discussion with a former governor of a northwestern state. I said, why are you rooting for Mr. President, for President Buhari? He says, I don't even want him as a president, but I am realistic enough to know that he will likely to win
second term.
On what premise?
On what premise? Julia and I have said several times on this platform that there is 12 to 14 million votes sitting down for Mr. President in the north.
I do.
But that is not enough for him to win.
No, I understand.
Since 2011, he's always called those 12 million votes. But he lost some elections.
Yeah, right. No, I'm saying that, based on that, with that sitting for him, he was able to galvanize enough votes elsewhere in the Southwest. Right. And then he won the election. By getting Asiwaju Bola Tinubu on a reconciliation mission, for example, I think anybody who is aware of what symbolism means, if you have read Aristotle, you will know what symbolism means. It means that just that gesture shows that, okay, there's recognition, acknowledgement of Bola Tinubu, as well as the Southwest and the vote of the Southwest in the coming months. By February 15 next year. I think he is clearly demonstrating that. And I think we need to recognize that this man, if he plays his cards well, the way I see him playing it, it is going to be difficult for anybody within the party and outside of APC to ease him out.
The president came on a wind of change now, promising change. And it's already been established of the three cardinal points now where he did say he would focus on corruption, terrorism, and so on. But then, with Asiwaju Tinubu, giving him so much support in 2015, which of course made him more popular and accepted in the Southwest, and so on. Are the times different? Has the president really done enough in all these areas to guarantee the same level, if not more popularity? Let's leave the north for the meantime now, but let's look at other parts, since we already know it's not enough for support from just the north.
The times have changed, and I am not someone who will sit here and be saying the same thing all the time. I weigh the options. I look at what's on ground. The APC has crisis that I didn't have about a year ago. And crises have a way of diminishing parties. If the APC wants to be re-elected at the federal level, then they must come together and get all their aggrieved parties to come together. The people who called for reconciliation, it is because they realized that if they do not reconcile the aggrieved persons within the party, it can cause the party to sink. So this is the point. Let's not, yes, Asiwaju, he has Asiwaju's support, this and that. I'm not going to say that Asiwaju's support is not substantial, but it's not enough. You must work hard to ensure. Look at the last election. Jonathan lost by only 4 percentage points. When Nigerians talk, they will say we overwhelmingly elected. That's the wrong use of word. That's not overwhelming. It's the closest presidential race in Nigerian history. Right. So if just 4 percentage points, and I can tell you that some of the circumstances that shaped that last election, they are still present.
All right, let's bring in Peter at this point now. Peter joining us from Lagos, you're welcome. How do you react to the president's declaration?
I just want to air my own view. I am a member of APC and the youth in that matter.
Congratulations.
Yeah, the truth about this topic is Buhari, when Buhari came in, we all longed to vote Buhari. In fact, me, I sought few of my things just to make sure I support Buhari. I was going to Abuja with Asiwaju. We did everything within our power. We loved Buhari like as if he was our father. But when APC came to power, I am a member of APC and I am proud to say this today. Jide, I salute you for your courage. You are a man I learn from. I would like to see one day. The way in fact, you have a history of Nigeria in your head. I am proud of you. The Nigeria we are looking at today is not the Nigeria we were long to have. Buhari was supposed to, he has everything it takes to write his name with gold. But he came in, started playing politics. The way he's fighting corruption is not what we expect. This is not how to fight corruption. If you are not, we are just testing corruption. I'm looking for a president that will come in one day and say we want to fight corruption. People like IBB or Obasanjo, all of them, they have to, even if they die, they will dig their bone out. They will answer to what they have done.
All right, Peter, thanks a lot. Of course, the conversation continues online. Please. Let's get to hear what you think now about this breaking news at this time. After this break, police make arrests in bloody offer bank robbery. Stay with us on Journalist Hangout. Thanks a lot for joining us again on Journalist Hangout. All right, gentlemen, we're going to do this pretty quick now before we move on to other pressing top stories. Jide, I want to just, wrap up, the point we were making earlier before that call came in.
What I'm saying is that the president, yes, he always has 12 million votes. But there are formidable candidates that can come out of the north. Let nobody tell you that people will not contest against this man. They will contest against him. And I'm saying, and I've said repeatedly, that APC has to put its house in order. Because this election is not going to be easy. The last one was not easy. Forget the talk that, we overwhelmingly, when APC won by only 4 percentage points. So the election will be tough. And the APC must continue with the reconciliation process that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu has started. The crisis in the party now over whether Oyegun should continue or should not continue has not ended. There are some people who feel bruised. If it goes on like that, there are still people too, like Saraki and the rest of them, who are not happy with what is going on. People need to be reconciled. It's when you reconcile them and then go for an election afterwards, that is when you put yourself in a position of strength to say, yes, this election I will win. But if I see crisis going on in the APC, I don't see genuine efforts to reconcile.
So resolve APC crisis now,
to put the president in good position to be re-elected.
Charles, will that be as weighty as the APC's performance now in all it promised to do?
Altogether are going to play a major role in how people decide their votes in 2019, because as you heard Peter has said, Peter is even a member of the party. He's also really saying that he is not totally convinced that this man has done well. When even some of us who are heavy social media users, you find people really throwing brickbats here and there about the propriety of otherwise of what this man has done or not. So I feel like, as it has, I want to agree with him on that, is that the APT must really build the house already crumbling. The sectional interest there, the party interest, we still find this issue of CPC still there, ANPP of those days. All these things, they have to collapse these things and make sure that APC becomes the override, and the interest of APC becomes overriding in all of this.
And then without the strong backing, without the backing of former President Obasanjo, as against what occurred in 2015, Lekon.
Well, Kemi, I'm sure you've read the book Against the Run of Play by Sunday Adoniyi. Nobody gave an outsider a chance of winning the election. It could happen again, such that somebody outside could defeat the incumbent president. But as I sit here, I cannot point to any individual. I'll be honest with you. As I'm sitting here, I cannot identify any individual that can do that, perform that feat.
All right, that seems to be the major task right now. And now that the president has declared intention to recontest, all right, so it's game on. But then let's move on. Last Thursday, evil visited Offa, Kwara State. A group of daredevil armed robbers stormed the quiet city and tore it apart. They robbed banks and killed as many as 17 people. That's even at the list now, going by reports now circulating everywhere, including policemen, police officers, and women. Their ruthless escapade sent a rude shock down the spine of residents. The Kwara State Police Command says 7 suspects have already been arrested. It's a sad story, but then the question is, can the police be trusted not to arrest and parade innocent Nigerians as suspects? And again, of course, the story keeps developing by the minute now, with as many as 8 suspects now arrested, going by the words of Jimoh Moshood, force public relations. We've seen how the force has even come down hard now on Offa town to give all necessary support. Today, what are your thoughts on this resurrection of evil, so to speak, in Offa, and the efforts of the police now in nipping this in the bud?
Evil was never dead to the point that it will now resurrect. Evil had continued to walk on 2 legs in semi-urban communities, in Ondo, in Osun especially. Remember the last attack on banks in Iwo, where they killed a policeman, carted away money. In some of those semi-urban communities, banks no longer operate because of consistent attack on bank premises and all that. So I was expecting that, knowing that robbers, especially in that area, Osun State, and part of Ondo, that whole area had never really been free of attacks by bank robbers, those semi-urban communities. So I would expect that the protection given to banks will be sufficient, such that if robbers attack a bank, they will be resisted and all that. But we had a situation in which for more than 2 hours, these boys operated in the town, attacked 5 banks and 1 microfinance bank. And they killed, it's like they were killing people as if they were on target practice. They're just wasting people. Killed 9 policemen And up to now, an unspecified number of civilians. I've heard the police say, 17 people, but we've also had vigilantes say that on the day that this thing happened, that they picked up 30 corpses. So if they picked up 30 corpses, and we know that normally it's in the arsenal of the police to attempt to downplay things and all that. I was even shocked that they admitted that nine of their, very similar to what the army does when they suffer a setback. They make it look like it didn't happen. So, but we gain nothing from this. If we know the extent of the problem, we can now come up with the right framework to solve the problem. The truth is, we can't have a situation in which robbers will operate for 2 hours unhindered in that town, no kind of reinforcement from any of the adjoining towns to try and help the police in Offa. No attempt whatsoever. We know that the police also have helicopters with which they fight crime. Are they saying that at that time that the helicopter...
Are they even available?
Because even Offa is not far from Ilorin now.
Absolutely.
Are they saying that, or could it be that their helicopter is disused or no longer serviceable, that they can't respond in times of distress? It's now that we are reading that the IG is going to send 3 mobile police formations. They are going to buy 3 APCs and all that. One will stay, the position strategically in the town.
Reactionary.
All these are not what we should be hearing at this time. And yes, people have been killed, but how do we learn from what has happened? How do we ensure that these robbers do not kill people for fun the way they have done
in the defense now of the police PRO in Kwara State? Now, he was saying, okay, the reason why the robbers went on that much of a killing spree was, and they didn't retaliate in such strong force, was because that area is usually densely populated, and if they had naturally casualties, would have been affected. But how does it wash with you, Charles?
That's just trying to just
a wash.
Honestly, trying to tell you, trying to let you know what the police knew what to do. They knew what they have to do, but they didn't do. They failed to do it. So now, just like a sinking man, he will latch on to anything floating. That's exactly what I feel that Jumomo should have said. But having said that, I think looking at the case the way it is, the way Nigeria and Nigerians are being policed as we speak is faulty. The police need to rejig its operations. I was at my place, Uromi, Edo State, at the weekend. I was discussing with a friend of one of who came from abroad. He was telling me about how he was trying to leave a parking lot. Somebody had bashed him. They were arguing. Within 5 minutes, police were there. Nobody sent for any policeman. They were there. It tells you how vigilant these people are, which means the patrol, they could see anything. And if it's going to be more than that, they have their walkie-talkie. They just thump it number, and then they have reinforcement, just as they have said. So the question is that what is happening to the policing of that? You knew that you had all this number of banks everywhere around the Offa. They said because for them to be able to rob the number of banks means that they were all closely built together.
And they spread themselves
5 of them.
out.
That's the way it is.
That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that if the way you police the other side, you ought to have even increased your surveillance around that area. Even an of arrest, they said that this thing happens just like a festival of every 5 years. So if you knew that it has happened before, it happened more than 3 times, all you need to have done is to be proactive. Not these reactionary things we are seeing here. It's not going to help. Now all the armor tank they said are going to be bringing in, they're going to be bringing police formation. They will bring them, but the question of what is the training that we're going to be giving to them to...
Then will there be service?
Will there also be service all these things?
Based on the point
because in my area, there's an APC that is I've
remained
deflated. Deflated for so long, just standing
so
there.
If you have a need to use it, how do you
won't be able to move an inch.
So that's what I'm saying, that it's not about, it's more than just making provisions for all these arms and ammunition, making provisions to say you want to put formation. The question is that what training are you giving to them to be proactive to issues like this? If not, God help us.
But then, Lekon, as at least 7 arrests have been made now, and a host of, 8, and a host of, ammunition and weapons seized now, says the police. What do you think? How much of a pattern on the back should we give the police?
They said that if you kill a policeman, you are in trouble.
Right.
They will find you. And I think that has played out now. Last week, there was an exhibition, I think in Abia State or Imo State, of arms and ammunition seized from non-state actors. I'm trying to say there's a lot of weapons
in the hands of
private individuals, non-state actors. And I have not seen any serious efforts to get these things out of their hands. That's one. I was a government accountant. Each time, the rule says when you are going to central bank to collect money, you must get a police officer to go with you. I remember the difficulties I had in getting a policeman to follow me to the central bank in our convoy. Because that is what the federal government financial instructions requires, for me to have a policeman, a police escort with me in case anything happens. I will go to one bank to collect the policeman. We will go to another bank to collect the gun. I'm talking from experience. This is not theory. I'm telling you what I have done several times. And if I don't do that, that means I will not be able to get an escort. So I will first go to one bank, collect on one street, collect the police officer. If you say Kozibon, I will say no problem.
He's not armed.
Yes. Then they will make calls. The guy will say, I should go to the other bank to go and collect the arms that the other man
already had.
Who is in another bank, who is supposed to be defended, will collect the gun from that man. Do you understand? That means that man is not armed. That means a policeman has left one branch, the other one is a lame duck. And then when you go to police stations, you want to make ordinary statement, you will buy your own paper. And I'm sure you've heard of it. So my question is this. Even the money that is voted for the police, how is it spent? Is it truly spent on the purpose for which? Those are issues that we need to really address. Yes, I am really seriously worried about that. We are talking about we don't have enough policemen in Lagos State. There are just 39,000 policemen guarding 24.5 million people. That's okay, but do they have, in spite of having the Lagos State Security Trust Fund, do you agree that Lagos State Police is very well policed?
I'm also looking at the police public relations, so to speak. Now we've seen the state government also, announcing a 50 million naira ransom to generate as much information on this really bloody robbery now. But Jide, what hope do you have now in information generation, trust now from the public now towards the police? Just before you answer that, Danjuma joins us from Sokoto. You're welcome. Please quickly make your point.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
And good evening to the panel. So
good evening.
I want to appreciate Jide, Charles. Hello?
Go on.
Carry on.
Yeah, I want to appreciate you guys. You are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jide, Charles, and Likon. Thank you. I want to really say one thing about the re-election of President Buhari. I am one of those who canvassed for vote for him. We spent for him. We were so optimistic for this government to succeed. But when this man came to power, in fact, the very essence why we went out to canvass for vote for this man has been dashed out. Jide, Sincerely speaking, I'm telling you, when the South and the Southwest and the Southeast are busy saying, doing PVC sensitization, the North is heavily involved in child registration of PVC.
All right, Danjuma. All right, Danjuma, apologies now for the interruption. We are fast running out of time, but thank you very much. You've made your point, Danjuma, there from the North. But still on this issue on how much information the police can generate, of course, in relation with the arrests that have been made. What do you think, Jide?
Well, I hope the people volunteer information that the police needs. The police also need to show that they are people-centered. The Nigerian police need to show greater respect to the civil populace. When you brutalize the people, you don't expect them to show confidence in you. You don't expect them to feel chummy with you to the point that they can volunteer information. The way it is now, many people distrust the police. And as long as that distrust reigns, the police will not get enough information that it needs to defeat crime in our communities. So, what this has happened, nobody benefits from armed robbers wasting people the way they have done in Offa. So, if people have information about the whereabouts of armed robbers, about anyone who took part in the crime, because we heard that there were no less than 15 of them involved, they should provide information so that the police can arrest these people and bring them to justice. That is the least that they can do.
All right, we'll see how it all goes. Of course, the story keeps developing. We'll see how much further the police can go in nipping this, in tackling this dastardly act. But then to another developing story, we're talking about the fight against terrorism in the Northeast, as that operation still appears to be in full swing, although the debate about whether Boko Haram has been totally decimated or technically defeated is still as fresh as the information itself. Nigerians now know the federal government has released $1 billion to prosecute the defeated enemy, as it calls it. On Sunday, reports say the Nigerian army rescued 149 persons within the Sambisa forest axis. If you want to interpret this now, these fellows were held by the terror group before the army rescued them. How much of a breakthrough is this, Charles, now? Not only were these hundreds of people now rescued, but then we also saw some arrests made. An attack was also, stopped before it could hold now on Saturday. What do you think?
Well, let me first of all praise the patriotism of the vigilante members, who I am told volunteered information, first of all. Even before police soldiers came, they also had done their own, by making sure the defense and the. So that's on the one hand. On the other hand is that, in quote, the defeated insurgents. I think it's about time this government stopped playing politics and realized that we are up against a monster that can consume the whole of us, if not checked. That's where we have got to right now. Because the issue of the 1 billion naira, whether I'm not going to talk about the propriety or the worth of that money, but the thing is that if for us to make, there's no country in the whole world ever makes progress when it has to be fighting insurgency. Even the IROA, you remember when they had a problem in the Irish Republic Army? Right. They didn't make quite progress until they reached a compromise. And everybody knew that it was time for them to make a progress. Even when you talk about the Kurdish, this issue of you go to the India or wherever you have insurgency, no progress is ever made. So, if the government really wants us to make progress, they should do away with the politics of whatever is being done, whether this and that, and then the other one you want to say the people who are benefiting hugely from this insurgency have to be fished out. you have the defense contractors, you have some people who don't want this thing to end because of money they make. So the government has to really sit down and begin to fight this war, not a conventional war, but the way it is, so that all of us we know that we're having progress.
Let's speed along, Lekon. It is an ongoing clearance, operation in Sambisa and elsewhere. But then, is this a clearance operation with an end in sight?
Kenny, I don't always believe everything I see on social media, but I saw a woman being interviewed. It's clear from her accent that she's from the northeastern part of Nigeria. Among other things, something that she said is that even mothers know that their sons are members of the Boko Haram, and that they hide their guns under the beds of their fathers, of their mothers. And their mothers, because of the social situation, the cultural situation in that part of the country, the mothers don't inform the fathers. What I'm trying to say is that this implies that the Boko Haram members are within the people, and they know themselves. What makes them continue to do that? Is it poverty? Is it lack of employment? Is it lack of education? Is it bitterness against the state? Is it simply because Yusuf Bello was killed? Is that the only reason? We need to interrogate and address the issues properly without unnecessary politics, and then deal with it.
Right.
Otherwise, just as Charles said, it may consume all of us.
Indeed, and we've heard of of course, horrendous number of people who have been caught in this increasing or in this line of attack by Boko Haram. Jide, you will end, our submissions today, this evening. Now, let's have your take on this lingering war.
The truth is, Boko Haram has not been defeated. I've said that repeatedly. The story that they are living with people is false. That was before civilian JTF was created. Immediately civilian JTF was created, they chased the boys out of Maiduguri. That's why there is peace in Maiduguri now. Maiduguri is the most peaceful town in Nigeria, the most defended town in Nigeria. When you go to Maiduguri, you see soldiers everywhere. So Boko Haram lives inside Sambisa. Boko Haram lives in the Lake Chad area. That's where the Mama and Nod faction operates. In those days, they used to live amongst the people. Remember when Jonathan went there for a town hall meeting, the women who spoke at the town hall meeting were killed. That was when they were still resident. It's an old story that they still live with people, they keep guns with people. They live in the bush. The civilian JTF have chased them out of Maiduguri. People need to realize the extreme sacrifice that the civilian JTF has made. They've lost more than 600 of their men. They are usually the first to frisk suspects. They are usually the first to check vehicles.
But don't they enjoy some form of sympathy still among the locals? I'm talking of Boko Haram.
No. How do you sympathize with someone who wants to kill you? The reason they are killing innocent people is because they know that they are not loved. That's why they've turned their guns against people. They know that those people will give them away. That's why they are killing innocent people. That's why they are attacking mosques.
All right. In the midst of all this, we wish our troops now, all the best, and we salute their bravery and, of course, their doggedness now in ending all of this, killings and, of course, the insecurity in the Northeast and elsewhere. Well, folks, that's it on Journalist Hangout for today. Thank you for keeping us company and contributing. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can, of course, watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11, and then watch the program on other platforms showing on the screen on YouTube. And, of course, don't forget our feedback channel, the Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. Thanks for watching again. I'm Kemi Foladeyemo. Bye for now. God bless Nigeria.